Many of us like to go on long road trips in the car. Nature, friends, and a nice road with some scenic stuff on the way is all part of a great road trip. But what if we said that we found some really dangerous long roads that could make your next road trip really unforgettable? From one of the longest and loneliest roads in the desert to some of the most remote roads in the world. Check out these. Highway 85, Saudi Arabia. Following the heart of Saudi Arabia, Highway 85 is one super long stretch of hot blacktop that is 693 miles long. This asphalted road lies close to the border of Jordan and links Jubail in the eastern province of the Persian Gulf of Saudi Arabia and Jureif in the northern Borders province. It is said that the road runs perfectly straight through the hot and dangerous desert for 9 hours and 15 minutes if you're driving the speed limit, which is around 87 miles per hour. And some say it's so straight that you can lock the steering wheel and take a nap in the back seat of your car, if the alignment is good, and not hit anything for miles. But if you're going to drive on this highway, then make sure the vehicle you're in can handle the extreme heat of the desert, where you'll be driving in the middle of nowhere here. Services like gas stations and rest areas are few and far between, and fatigue can overtake a driver quickly here. It is said that there are some turns, but they are wide and sweeping, and it's hard to know when the turn ends. Well, you can think it's not a difficult drive at all. However, the time here will go very slowly, minute by minute, hour by hour. Just you, the lonely road, the desert, and a few cars coming in front of you. And yep, you might meet a few lizards on the way. Mongolia Desert Highway. It's hard to say what really is the longest desert highway since the title changes hands so often. But there is a highway that stretches 577 miles linking China's capital to northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, which was completed in North China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region on September 25, 2016, and was the longest paved desert highway at the time. The cost of this long stretch of dangerous highway was $5.5 billion. It is the only highway linking the two provinces together that has 4 lanes that run through the Badangiran Desert, which is the 3rd largest desert in China, and the Gobi Desert, both of which are mostly uninhabited areas with incredibly harsh environments. The project was co-constructed by China Communications Construction, China Railway Group, and China State Construction, along with thousands of workers. And just imagine, thousands of workers living here in the desert while they were building this road. They were there for months under the hot sun, far away from major civilization, surrounded only by the scorching desert. It was built as a major project of China's Belt and Road Initiative to improve connectivity and trade among countries along the ancient Silk Road, which runs from Asia to Europe. Even though the road is new and well-paved, it can still be a dangerous route to travel, especially considering the harsh desert environments. In fact, imagine pulling over to the side of the road for a rest, and then you have a car not start. Not good. Trans-Siberian Highway. There is a road in Russia that is one of the longest stretches of roads in the country. It is the Trans-Siberian Highway, and it runs 7,000 miles from St. Petersburg to Vladivostok. It is actually a network of federal highways that span the width of Russia, from the Baltic Sea of the Atlantic Ocean to the Japan Sea of the Pacific Ocean. It consists of the roads Russia, Ural, Irtysh, Siberia, Baikal, Amur, and Ussuri. The interesting thing about this highway is that it was built by Gulag inmates and varies from a pristine and well-paved roadway in the west to the worst paved roads in the east. Until recently, some of the eastern parts of the highway were no more than dirt tracks that became flooded and muddy during rains. This can be a very dangerous situation for drivers who get stranded, making them vulnerable to Siberia's road pirates. Recent paving projects have made the road more passable and much safer. The road goes through some places that are flat and marshy forest terrain, and even though most of the road has an asphalt concrete surface, there are still places that have pavement that is badly damaged. And the road is a constant source of traffic accidents. It should be noted that the road Ural, which runs through wooded mountains and flat terrain, is said to be incredibly dangerous, and only those with good driving skills and a good vehicle should attempt to drive such a road. There are so many roads that connect to this main road that it's hard to say how much money has been spent on the building and the maintenance of this road, but it has to be in the millions. Be warned, if you are traveling this road, there may be dangers that lie waiting. Highway 95, Saudi Arabia. Another dangerous road that runs through the searing hot deserts of Saudi Arabia is Highway 95, or better known as Abu Hadria Highway, which is close to the United Arab Emirates and begins at the King Fahd Causeway and links Bahrain to Saudi Arabia and extends the Kuwaiti border and is connected to major cities such as Dammam and Jubail. It was initially built by several companies who appealed to hundreds of expats who only had the right to live a single life in camps along the desert road. This highway is over 186 miles long and is the main path for trucks and goods movement in the area. Apparently, there are parts of this remote desert highway that are really dangerous and parts of the road need to be repaired. Projects have been created to rebuild the highway, including the lighting. This is what likely makes it one of the most dangerous roads in the world, and Abu Hadria Highway is estimated to have the highest rate of fatal car accidents of all of the kingdom's major highways. And the majority of those accidents involved high-speed crashes. If you are traveling on this road, then make sure to be prepared and watch for other drivers. Australia's Air Highway. If you want to see one of the longest and loneliest roads in the world, then take a trip on Australia's Air Highway, which stretches a whopping 1,041 miles long and is said to be the longest straight stretch in the world, and you can drive 91.1 miles without ever seeing a curve. The road begins at a town named Norseman, which is located in the Goldfields Esperance region of Western Australia, and ends in Port Augusta. It is the only sealed road linking the states of Western Australia and South Australia. The highway was opened in 1941, and estimates place the construction costs at around $325,000. Adjust that for inflation, and it's about $5,267,788 today. The road was completed in June of 1942, and it's undergone a lot of construction through the years since then to make it wider and improved its safety. So, what makes this road dangerous? For one thing, it's such a long road that it causes driver fatigue, and there are even several signals along the road to remind drivers to pull over and rest. Some places along the route have even started to offer free coffee to encourage drivers to take a break. But it's not just fatigue that can get you. Secondly, the wildlife in the region, which includes kangaroos, emus, and even camels, can walk across the road at any time. And these larger animals have been known to do some serious damage to vehicles and injure the occupants. If you're going to travel this road, make sure you avoid driving during dawn or dusk. Chinese dangerous road through desert. Tarim Desert Road or Tarim Desert Highway is an asphalted road crossing the Taklamakan Desert from the north to the south in China. The 342-mile-long road is the world's longest highway that makes its way across a hot and shifting sand desert. Construction of the highway began in 1993 because of the expansion of the petroleum industry, and fast shipping was needed across the Taklamakan Desert, which is also known as the Sea of Death, for its incredibly harsh conditions. The highway was completed in 1995 and is the longest road in the world built across a shifting sand desert. And when we say shifting sands, we mean it. 4/5 of the road encounter hazardous sands that frequently bury the highway. To prevent the sands from covering the highway, making it incredibly dangerous for vehicles, construction crews plant bushes and other vegetation next to the highway to anchor the sand with their roots, and a massive irrigation system was built to pump water to the vegetation along the way. This is one lonely and long stretch of road, and there are absolutely no settlements, gas stations, or rest area services that exist along the length of the highway. Except for pump house maintenance workers, the region is entirely uninhabited. The road links the cities of Luntai and Minfeng on the northern and southern edges of the Tarim Basin, and despite the dangers, it is said there are many excellent photo opportunities here. It usually takes about 5 hours to travel across this remote desert road, and on the way, visitors can see exotic desert landscapes and populous trees, which can grow over 1,000 years old. Just be warned that you can encounter a sand drift from 20-foot sand dunes at any time while driving, and so high speed is not recommended. We hope you enjoyed the video. Which of these roads impressed you the most? Have you traveled any scary roads? Tell us in the comments. If you liked the video, then share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when a new video arrives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.